So this is video 14 on measuring model 1966. This is an addendum to video 12. In video 12 I showed you how to divide up the different rooms and determine the exposed wall areas and ceiling areas. However, I'll try to provide a little more clarification here. So when you look at your worksheet, we're going to be filling in, or you will be filling in areas here. And so if we're talking about the dining room, the exposed wall extends that far, because the dining room itself is bounded by these walls. So that's the actual dining room. So the distance of exposed wall you would measure from the center of this interior partition to the center of this interior partition. So you're going to put the 0 of your scale here, and you're going to measure to this point. And then you would record that distance. Okay, and that distance is going to be the distance of exposed perimeter. And since the entire house is frame plus brick, you would put in a distance here under exposed perimeter and frame plus brick. You would have a distance of X. In order to get the gross wall area, you would take this distance, which is in feet, times the height, which is in feet, and you would then provide your area in this box. Now you do have to look for the actual floor area. Remember, this is the area of the exposed wall. The exposed wall extends from this point to this point. Exposed wall does not include any interior partitions. So the exposed wall only extends from here to here and is the wall that separates the house from the outside. So you're looking for the area of this wall here. You find the area by measuring this distance and multiplying by the height. The area of the dining room is going to be this distance, which you've already measured, times this distance. So again, you would place the 0 of your scale here on the inside surface of the exposed wall, measure to the center line of this interior partition, and those two distances multiplied together will give you the area of the dining room. Okay? Now you need to establish if there are any windows in the dining room. Clearly we've got a window right here. And so in order to get the size of that window, you would need to go to the left-hand elevation. Here is the left-hand elevation. And on the drawing, it tells us that this window is 48 3/4 by 58 1/8. So you're going to type in your calculator 48.75 times 58.125 equals 2,833.59 square inches. You will now divide by 144. It's 144 square inches per square foot. And we get 19.67 square feet. And because this is a square, this is an area, you're going to round this up to 20 square feet. So that means that in the dining room, because the front of the house is facing southwest, this direction is going to be northwest. And so in the northwest row, you would write down 20 square feet. In order to find the net frame plus brick, you take your gross area, subtract any windows and doors. So here you would have your gross area minus 20, and that will give you your net frame plus brick. Finally, you've got to establish what the header is. So in the previous videos, I explained that the header, which you can see on the cross section, this right here, this is the first floor header. And we established that the height, this distance, this vertical distance, was 1 foot. But because this is essentially a wall area, we need to know what the actual area is. So because the height of this header is 1 foot high, in order to find the actual area of the header, you would take your exposed perimeter, so whatever distance you measured for this wall, measuring from here to there, times 1 foot high is going to give you the area of your first floor header. And you would fill the area of your first floor header in this column here, underneath the dining room, of course, because you're working on the dining room. So you will need to follow the same steps for each room as you go through. You need to find the area. You will need to find the distance of exposed wall. You'll need to find the total glass area, and then you'll get the net frame plus brick, and then your first floor header. So that completes the dining room. Now if you move to the living room, you can see that here's the living room. So the exposed wall of the living room runs through here. And this is our front foyer. And this right here, this is the front door. So what you need to do is measure the distance from this point all the way around to this point here. Actually, right to this point right there. So you'll measure this distance, this distance, this one, and this one. You add all 4 of them together, and that becomes your exposed perimeter. So that's the exposed perimeter, frame plus brick, for the living room. So you know that the height of the living room is 8 feet. So 8 feet times whatever your distance is will give you your gross wall area. Now you need to determine the area. So it's a bit of an odd shape. So you're going to separate this into 2 different shapes, like we did in class. And so I would suggest that you create this rectangle and this trapezoid. Now granted, this isn't a true trapezoid, but for the purposes of finding the area, this is close enough. You can measure the center line of this trapezoid, so you measure this distance through the center of the trapezoid. You would measure the height of the trapezoid, and then it simply becomes length times width plus the length times width of the living room. And the living room extends like that. So once you've found the area of the living room, you can write that in this box right here. Area, living room. Next thing is you've got to find your windows. You can see that there is a window there, there is a window there, and there is a window there. So if the front of the house is facing southwest, that means that that window is going to be facing west. This window is of course facing southwest, and this window would be facing south. And so you would need to put one area of glass facing in the east-west row, because you've got this window's facing west. So you're going to have an area of glass facing west. You've got an area of glass facing southwest. And you've got an area of glass facing south. And in order to determine those areas, you would go to the front elevation. And in the front elevation, you can see you're given the dimensions of the windows. And so you need to find the square area in square feet. This would be the west window, this would be the southwest window, this would be the south window. Once you've got your window areas, you can take the gross wall area, subtract these windows, and you will find your net wall area for the living room. Finally, you need to get the header area. So once again, the header area is simply the distance of exposed wall. So this total distance, which in fact you recorded right there, times the height of the header, and that will give you the area of header that you would fill in this box right here. You're going to make your way around the entire perimeter of the house. So this distance here, this is your foyer. This distance through here is going to be the exposed wall for your powder room. This is going to be the exposed distance for your sunken laundry. And finally, as you get into the family room, there is the exposed distance for your family room. The area of the powder room is like that. This is the area of your laundry, and this is the area of your family room. Please note that the foyer is an odd shape, and you'll need to find this whole area. This is going to be the area of your foyer. So break it up into small, manageable shapes. Find the different areas, add them together to give you the total area for the foyer. Again, a reminder, this portion of wall here is what we call frame plus drywall both sides. So when you find this distance, you will have an area for frame plus drywall right here. There's frame plus drywall. This portion is frame plus block. So for the powder room, it'll have an area of frame plus block, and the sunken laundry will have an area of frame plus block, plus an area of frame plus brick. Here is the frame plus block. So your foyer is going to have an area of frame plus brick where the front door is, and an area of frame plus drywall where the foyer is next to the garage. Don't forget, you're going to have door area in the foyer. You will still have a net frame plus brick. You will have a net frame plus drywall, and you will still have a header. The powder room will have only frame plus block. We'll still have a header. Then the powder room will still have a net frame plus block. Of course, all of these rooms will still require an area. Okay, now bear in mind that the laundry has got some frame plus brick. So you're going to have an area of frame, or a distance of frame plus brick, which will give you then the area of exposed frame plus brick. You will have a distance for the frame plus block, and you will have an area for the frame plus block. Similarly, in the powder room, you will have a distance of frame plus block times the height to give you the area. The foyer, you will have a distance of frame plus brick through here where the front door is. So this distance times that will give you the gross wall area frame plus brick. Then you'll measure this distance, and you will get a measurement for the frame plus drywall. This distance that you measure times 8 feet high will give you the gross area of frame plus drywall. Don't forget, in the laundry, there is an optional door. You must include that optional door, and you've got a side door. If you want to see the side door, you would go to the right elevation, and this is your side door. Doors are always considered to be 21 square feet. Then you've got your family room. Once again, you've got a window here in the back. So if the front of the house is facing southwest, that means the back of the house is facing northeast. Which means that you would take the area of this window And in the family room, you would place it in the northwest column, northwest row. Okay, your family room is going to have a distance of exposed frame plus brick times 8 feet high will give you the gross wall area for the family room. The gross wall area minus the window will give you a net frame plus brick. The laundry will also have a net frame plus brick. Note that the powder room does not have any frame plus brick. It's only got frame plus block. In all cases, these rooms will have a header. In the case of the foyer, you're going to have a distance for frame plus brick, and you're going to have a distance for frame plus drywall. Add these two together, multiply by the height of the header to give you your area of header. Similarly, in the laundry, you're going to have a distance for frame plus brick, plus a distance for frame plus block. Add those two together, multiply by the height of the header to get your header area. So your worksheet, this worksheet, which is available on Blackboard, should have all of these areas determined. We did the kitchen is on the video, so make sure you include your kitchen areas here. But you want to make sure that you've got all these areas listed on this worksheet, because the test next week, simply this: I will ask you what the gross wall area is of the family room. All you need to do is look on your worksheet, and you would choose your answer based on what you've written down here. You will not have time to do all of this measuring during the test. The test will be timed, and once you start, you have to finish. So that ends an explanation for measuring the first floor.